3 years after he was sent to prison for sexual assault, the American entertainer Bill Cosby has his conviction overturned. Dozens of Canadians die in North America's heat wave. President Biden says the climate threat is now critical. The Chinese Communist Party turns 100. We'll be taking a look at its history and how Beijing plans to celebrate. The death toll in the collapse of a Florida tower block has risen to 18 with the discovery of 2 more bodies. Nobody has been pulled alive from the rubble since the early hours of the disaster last Thursday. But officials have said they still harbour some hope of finding survivors. Another 182 unmarked graves have been discovered at a 3rd Canadian Indigenous residential school near Cranbrook in British Columbia. It follows the discovery in June of almost 1,000 such graves in the provinces of British Columbia and Saskatchewan. Canada's Prime Minister Justin Trudeau said these discoveries have forced Canadians to reflect on the injustices that Indigenous peoples have faced.
Canada is marking its National Day on Thursday, but celebrations have been overshadowed by the discovery of more Indigenous graves at a former residential school that was run by the Catholic Church. The latest discovery involves more than 180 unmarked graves, believed to contain the remains of children aged 7 to 13. Courtney Bembridge has more.
A century-old church in Alberta destroyed.
That's sad.
It's one of several Catholic churches that have been targeted over the past month after hundreds of unmarked graves were found at residential schools previously run by the Catholic Church.
Rebel forces in Tigray, northern Ethiopia, are continuing to gain ground after seizing the regional capital of Mekelle from government troops. The Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed downplayed the city's capture by rebels, saying that government forces withdrew because the city was no longer the conflict centre of gravity and there was nothing special about it. Former President Donald Trump has made what he calls a fact-finding mission to the US-Mexico border, his second public appearance in 4 days. Speaking in front of a section of a Texas border wall, Mr. Trump said that the United States was a sick country. He criticized the immigration policy of his successor, President Biden.